You're listening to the Monday Night Community Show with Daniel on BRFM.
This is the Daniel Monday Night Community Show on demand through YouTube. Thank you very much for choosing to listen to us through this method. If you'd like to keep up to date with when I add new interviews, then subscribe to this channel. Tim, as always, it's great to have you here at BRFM.
Thanks, Daniel. Nice to be back.
Well, I think we're going to start off with a bit of an introduction, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm the Animal Control Officer for Swale Borough Council, and I think, as I always say, I've got one of the best jobs there because I deal with dogs, and it's great. Dogs are fantastic things, but one of the big problems, I'm afraid, with dogs, I have to say, and it's owners not being particularly responsible sometimes, and that's the problems they cause us, and that's really what my job's all about. And of course, dogs have a fantastic ability of escaping when they shouldn't, and so again, part of the job is to get those back to the owners, which really is something that I want to talk about tonight with regards to the microchipping.
What will happen if you come across a dog that is not microchipped?
Well, I mean, first of all, let's talk about the whole thing about microchipping and what is the reason for it. Responsible dog owners, I think, have already probably got their dogs microchipped anyway. It just makes a lot of sense. I mean, I know that you've got a dog and it's microchipped. I have. And it's just about being able to identify that dog so that if it goes missing, if it goes stray, if it gets, let's hope it never happens, but it does happen sometimes, if it gets stolen, there's a permanent form of identification on the dog. Collars and tags are fine, but they do come off. Whereas with a microchip, it's there for the dog's life, and it is permanent. Now, if we come across a dog that isn't chipped, once the legislation comes into place, which is on the 6th of April, so just a few weeks away now, if we come across a dog and we find out who the owner is, they claim it from the kennels, because that dog should have been chipped by now, there's no sort of grace period afterwards. By the 6th of April, all dogs should be microchipped. What we'll do is we'll serve a 21-day notice, a notice that gives the owner 21 days to get the dog chipped to comply with the legislation, and failure to comply with that would be an offence with a fine of up to £500.
So what about dogs with the incorrect keeper's details?
Well, this is the second important part of it. It's all very well having a dog microchipped, but if the keeper's details are incorrect, then there's no point. So again, the legislation is saying, yes, all dogs must be microchipped, but dog owners with these regulations have to keep their details up to date. And if, again, we find a dog that is chipped but the owner details are incorrect, when we find the owner, we'll do the same thing. We'll serve a notice requiring the owner to get those details updated within 21 days.
I think we're going to talk about whether this does affect all owners.
And the simple answer to that is yes, it does. Anyone who is the owner or keeper of a dog must ensure that the dog is microchipped. It's also actually going to be an offence to pass a dog on that isn't chipped. So, for example, if your dog has a litter of puppies, before you sell them, and it has to be after 8 weeks, you must ensure that the dogs are chipped, and then it's up to the new owner to update the chip details. So it should be that no dog can be sold or exchanged without it being microchipped, and as I said, the new owner must ensure that the details are up to date. I mean, really, to summarise, if you own a dog, get it chipped. It just makes sense. As I said, we come into contact with dogs all the time, and the first thing we do is check for a microchip, and that makes life so much easier. It's so much less stressful for the dog if we can get the dog back to the owner quickly, rather than having to go to the kennels and then trying to find the owner, and the dog doesn't know what's happening. So it just makes life a lot easier. If the dog's microchipped, we can return it to the owner straight away.
But Tim, I know you also wanted to talk about dog fouling as well.
Yeah, my favourite subject, Daniel, as I'm sure you know that. But it's still an ongoing problem, and I don't understand why it is. To me, it's quite simple. If you own a dog, then be responsible and clear up after the dog. But trying to find ways to tackle that programme, and we came across an innovative idea from a Swedish company called Tixpack, which we trialled last year with 5 stations across the borough. And these are dog bag dispensers. And the nice thing about the dispenser is that it's very sturdy. It allows just 1 or 2 bags to come out, not a whole handful, so it's very economical. But it's funded by sort of sponsorship, local advertising, so it's not costing the taxpayer any money, but it is a really good additional service and facility to have in the parks and open spaces of Swale. And incidentally, we are the first council in the UK to have this scheme, so it's quite a step forward. I mean, I still firmly believe that all responsible dog owners, if you take your dog out, you've got pockets full of dog bags, obviously. But there are times just when maybe you've used them up, or you've forgotten them because you rushed out in a hurry. And so these will be located in 30 locations in total across the borough. And the whole thing should be launching early summer. And it might be useful, Daniel, if we can put a list on your website of all the areas that the stations are going to be in. If we can do that, that would be great. And what we'll also be asking for then are really local champions. It's a community project, really. Local people who regularly walk their dogs or even walk the areas, care for the areas, and can just look at the stations, check them, and perhaps fill them up on a daily basis. We'll supply all the bags, but take ownership, I think, of the area, because it's so important. I often say this, at the council we do the best we can, but ultimately you live in your area, so it's just really trying to make Swale shine as best it can. They're going to be located in all sorts of places, open spaces. We've got them on at the moment on Minster Lees, down at Barton's Point, various places across the borough, including cemeteries as well.
So you mentioned cemeteries, but that seems a strange place to have dog bag dispensers. Why are you doing it there? Well,
cemeteries are always a very difficult one because, they're a place where people go to pay their respects to their loved ones, and quite often, and I'll start my own case, my wife takes our little dog to go and see her father that's in the cemetery, because he was very fond of the dog, and it's nice, and I think it's part of the family thing, and I think it should be encouraged. But unfortunately, we do have a problem in not just here on Sheppey, but in all the 3 main cemeteries, Sittingbourne and also Faversham, where a minority, and I will stress this, and this problem is always a minority, I have to say, of irresponsible people that just don't either think, or maybe, I hope not, but maybe don't care. They just let their dogs run riot over cemeteries. Now, we've got dog control orders in place, and the dog control orders state that all dogs have to be kept on a lead and under control when they're in a cemetery. But however, some people ignore this, and so the reason we're putting the dispensers in the cemeteries is just to help that problem, because again, sometimes these things I just don't really understand. How on earth can someone think it's right to let a dog run loose around a cemetery and foul next to or on someone's grave or whatever? It just doesn't make any sense to me, but I'm afraid it happens. And so siting one in each of the main cemeteries, again, is a way of trying to combat that problem.
Another subject we normally cover is the stray dog service.
Yeah, the stray dog service, Daniel, is going very well. What I wanted to quickly do, though, I come up here quite regularly, and I seem to be, every time I come up here, I'm just moaning on and on and on. And it isn't all bad news. The truth is that across the whole of Swale, the majority, by far the vast majority of dog owners are brilliant. And we were just talking during the music there that dogs are a great way of bringing people together. If you walk around on your own, nobody talks to you. If you walk around and you've got a dog with you, everyone chats, and it's a really good community thing. But 99% of dog owners are fabulous. It's just that very tiny minority that cause these problems. And so I just really wanted to stress that it is really quite positive, but there are still problems, but it is the minority. As for the stray dog service, that's really all about, and I mentioned it earlier, dogs making a bid for freedom. Dogs like to explore. Certain times of the year they like to explore more, and that's again why microchipping is so important, because dogs will at some point escape. And our stray dog service, we run it during the day, obviously office hours, myself for the Sheppey and Sittingbourne main areas, and my colleague Laura covers from Tenham down to or the far sort of east of the borough. And we collect the dogs, we do our very, very best to reunite the dogs as fast as we can with the owners. If there's no identification and we don't know where the dog comes from, then it goes off to the kennels and it waits there for 7 days for the owner to collect it. But how does the owner know we've got the dog? And we introduced 18 months ago now, and on a standalone page last January, a year ago, the Facebook Swale Borough Council Stray Dog Service page, and that has been brilliant. It really has. And how we operate it, if we pick up a dog and there is no form of identification, so we know we have to take it to the kennels, we take a photograph of it and we post those details on Facebook, and then virally it gets shared right across the internet. And it's amazing, actually. Sometimes we've had dogs with over 100,000 shares. That has been so successful in helping to reunite lots of dogs that I think maybe we wouldn't have done in the past. So have a look at that. And if you're not if you haven't seen it, have a look at it, and please like the service. It's also available on Twitter and on Instagram, but it's a great way, and you can also see what the dogs are doing. We do our best, although we are busy, to update on the outcomes of the dogs as well there. But the whole thing with the stray dog service, I said we operate at office hours 9 till 5, but we also have the out of hours service, and this is really a service that if you find a dog, it's not a dog warden service. It's a service that you find a dog, don't know what to do with it, then you ring the out of hours number, and there's 6 of us that run the service in the evenings and weekends, so it's from 5 till 9 Monday to Friday, and then 9 to 9 Saturdays and Sundays, and of course bank holidays, excepting Easter Sunday there is no service, and also Christmas Day and Boxing Day, and it just enables the whole service to run smoothly, and again it's been really quite successful. Just to give you the number for that, if you do find a dog in hours, it's 01795 417 850. That's the main council number. And if you find a dog out of hours, 07795 237 479.
Tim, before you go, if you could just refresh our listeners on that, and also go over any useful contact details.
Okay, yeah. Again, just to recap then, the new legislation or new regulations for microchipping, they come into force on the 6th of April, so just a few days now to make sure that your dog is microchipped. Please do it. It just makes so much sense. With regards to the Tix Pack bag dispensers, if you feel that it's something that you could be involved in on a local level of just keeping them topped up, we will be publishing details of where they'll all be sited on the Swale Borough Council website. It'll be on the Facebook page, here on the BRFM website, and also in the local press. So have a look at that, and if you're interested, contact us at the council. I'll give you the number in a moment. And again, with the stray dog service, please have a look at the Facebook page, the Swale Borough Council Stray Dog Service, because it's worth having a look anyway. Just to give you a quick refresher on those numbers, the main council number, so anything you want to speak to the council about on anything but dog related as well, it's 01795 417 850, 01795 417 850. And the out of hours stray dog service number is 07795 237 479. That's 07795 237 479.
Tim, as always, thank you very much for coming along and updating our listeners, and of course letting them know all about the microchipping.
Thanks very much, Daniel.
That is Tim right here at the Monday Night Community Show. Of course, the Animal Control Officer here in Swale, all as part of the regular slot we do with Tim here at the Monday Night Community Show.